Number 1. Flinch before you think. Let's say someone tosses a ball at your head, not a metaphorical curveball, a real actual ball. Your arms snap up, your eyes shut, your whole body ducks all before your brain even bothers to ask, hey, what was that? That's your startle reflex, a prehistoric security system that basically says, shut everything down and flail wildly. And yeah, it's kind of impressive, your spinal cord literally hijacks your limbs before your conscious brain can weigh in. Speed over strategy. Great in the wild when sudden movement might mean fangs, but less helpful when it's just Todd from accounting playing hacky sack in the hallway. Now imagine you're a caveman or cavewoman, cave non-binary icon, whatever works, and something rustles in the bushes. You flinch. Hard. You're down on the ground before your brain gets the memo. That split-second flinch might save you from a charging saber tooth, or make you faceplant into a rock and die of embarrassment, or head trauma. Fast forward 100,000 years, you still flinch, loud noises, sudden movements, pop quizzes, and while your modern day threats mostly involve office chairs and surprise to-do lists, your nervous system still thinks every loud pop is either a predator or a lightning bolt made of doom. Basically, your brain's first move is always panic. Logic can catch up later if there's anything left to reason with. Number 2, the freeze response. Fight or flight gets all the Hollywood attention. You've heard it, you've felt it. But freeze. Oh, freeze is the real underrated MVP of evolutionary weirdness. It's like your body hits Ctrl+Alt+Delete and reboots in fear. Picture this, you're out for a lovely forest walk, which is a bad idea if you're in a horror movie. You see a bear, your brain's like, okay, let's weigh the options. Your body, nope, let's just stop existing, and bam, you freeze, motionless like a terrified meat statue. This isn't laziness, it's nature's idea of a cloaking device. Predators often go for movement, so by turning into an anxiety popsicle, you might avoid detection, or just look extra pathetic, which apparently works on some animals. It's the same response you see in opossums playing dead, or that one friend who can't order at a drive-thru when the pressure hits. Freezing is the body's last-ditch attempt at survival when punching or running isn't on the menu. But today, that freeze instinct still shows up in job interviews, awkward elevator rides, and whenever someone says, "Can I ask you something?" Congratulations, your ancient fear of being eaten is now just social anxiety in car keys. Number 3, hypervigilance marked sleep. But not really sleep is supposed to be restful, but your brain is like, what if we just don't fully shut off? Ever welcome to the phenomenon of first night effect, where one half of your brain stays on partial alert in unfamiliar places, like a hotel or your ex's couch. Researchers literally found that when you're sleeping somewhere new, your brain pulls a night shift, especially the left hemisphere. It keeps scanning for danger while the rest of you dreams about accidentally showing up to class naked. Why? Because back in the wilderness days, unfamiliar place meant new territory, new threats, and probably something trying to eat you. You couldn't just conk out. You had to be ready to spring awake if a twig snapped or a branch rustled or someone whispered, "Hey, too close to your cave." Today, that instinct just gives you insomnia during Airbnb trips and makes you wake up every hour to check if you locked the door. Spoiler, you did. Twice. So yeah, your brain is the worst sleepover guest ever. It brought fear instead of pajamas. Number 4, pain is a party crasher. Here's the charming reality. Your brain has a built-in alarm system called nociception, and it's essentially a drama queen. Stub your toe, slice your finger, your body screams like it's the end times. But what's really wild, that pain isn't in your foot or your hand, it's in your brain. Pain is your brain's best guess at what just happened based on signals from your nerves. It's a guess. A feeling, which means sometimes it overreacts like a reality TV contestant. In a survival context, this overreaction made sense. Pain, but stop doing that. It taught early humans not to walk on broken ankles, touch fire, or get too friendly with thorn bushes. It was your body's way of saying, listen, you may not be smart, but I will scream until you stop this nonsense. But in the wild, ignoring pain could get you killed. Today, it just means you can't open a pickle jar because you mildly twisted your wrist 3 days ago trying to reach the remote. Evolution didn't optimize you for pickle jars. Basically, your brain throws a tantrum in your honor every single time. Number 5, you're not hungry, you're just panicking. You ever get so stressed, your stomach's like, yeah, let's just not digest anything today. Welcome to the delightful instinct of stress-induced appetite suppression, or in some cases, it's evil twin stress binging. See, your ancient brain doesn't distinguish between a looming deadline and an actual pack of wolves. It just knows something is wrong. And back when wrong meant run or die, your body had no interest in eating. Digestion. Nah. Too slow. Too complicated. We need blood in the muscles, not the intestines. So your sympathetic nervous system hits the gas, cortisol goes full goblin mode, and suddenly your appetite gets smacked off the table. That's why, before a big speech, your mouth dries up like you've been licking sandpaper, and that lunch you were excited about. Yeah, it now looks like alien goo. But plot twist, some people get the opposite effect, because their brain, in an equally confusing decision, interprets the same stress as we might starve soon and goes into eat everything mode. Which made sense when famine was a threat. Not so much when it's just Karen sending passive-aggressive emails at 3:47 p.m. So whether you're suddenly ravenous or completely repulsed, you can thank your inner caveman for misunderstanding modern problems like their saber-tooth emergencies. Number 6, your gag, reflex, hates surprises. Ever brushed your tongue too far back and instantly became a choking walrus? That's your gag reflex, and it's here to ruin everything from dentist visits to lollipop enjoyment. The gag reflex evolved to protect you, sort of. It's a muscular nope button that lives in the back of your throat, and it triggers when something foreign gets too close to your airway. Because back in the days of raw meat, scavenged bones, and is this safe to eat, roulette choking was a frequent flyer. So your body said, let's just preemptively reject anything suspicious, which is smart if you're trying to avoid swallowing a fishbone or part of a twig. Not so smart when it decides mouthwash is a threat. And what makes it even weirder, some people have ultra-sensitive reflexes that can be triggered just by thinking about the dentist. Others, they could swallow a fork and barely blink, thanks genetics. Also, your gag reflex doesn't care about context. Romantic moment, toothbrush, tongue depressor, doesn't matter. If it thinks you're trying to swallow danger, it will absolutely embarrass you in front of God and everyone. So yeah, your throat is basically a bouncer with zero chill. Number 7, blink like you mean it. Here's a game, try not blinking for 1 minute. Just stare, unblinking. See how long you last before your eyes rebel. That irresistible need to blink. That's your body's windshield wiper system going. We'd like to not go blind today, thanks. But it's more than eye moisture, it's a deeply hardwired survival mechanism. One that happens about 15-20 times per minute, totally unconsciously, unless you're now hyper-aware and blinking weirdly. You're welcome. But here's the wild part, your brain actively blocks out the darkness that comes with each blink. It's like your visual system edits out the black screen so your world doesn't look like a badly cut slideshow. Why was this necessary in the wild? Because uninterrupted vision meant life or death. Predators didn't pause when you blinked, so your brain evolved to hide the blink from you like a magic trick. Smooth, seamless vision while your eyelids are out here doing jumping jacks. Also, blinking helps refocus your attention like hitting the mental reset button, which is why people blink more when lying thinking or watching paint dry. Yes, your eyelids are multitasking cognitive ninjas. Basically, blinking is your body's low-key genius, subtle, necessary, and still underappreciated, until a dusty eyelash ruins your life. Number 8, the goosebump illusion goosebumps. That weird bumpy chicken skin effect you get when you're cold scared or listening to Adele hit the high note. But those tiny hair-raising hills, they're leftover tools from a time when you had way more body hair like actual fur. When your ancestors felt threatened or chilled, tiny muscles pulled hair upright to trap heat or make them look bigger. You know, like a scared cat puffing up. Unfortunately, you're not a furry caveman anymore. You're a mostly smooth, mildly anxious office worker trying to stay warm in overly air-conditioned buildings. So now goosebumps are like pressing a car horn with no battery. All performance, no purpose. Sure, they still show up in emotional moments, music nostalgia that one time your ex texted, "Hey," at 2 a.m. But the original function is obsolete. You don't look bigger, you don't get warmer, you just look like you lost a fight with a porcupine. Still, not everything in evolution needs to be useful anymore. Some instincts just stick around to be awkward, like that one uncle who keeps bringing up high school football. Number 9, the panic poo phenomenon. Let's get uncomfortable for a second. You ever get so nervous your stomach stages a coup? Like you're about to give a speech or board a plane and suddenly boom, your digestive system hits the eject button. This is called stress-induced defecation, and yes, it's exactly what it sounds like. Animals in the wild, including us, the hairless weirdos with credit scores, have a built-in evacuation reflex when they sense extreme danger. Because why fight with a full tank when you can lighten the load? It's actually survival math. If you need to run for your life, your body doesn't want to carry around yesterday's burrito, so it triggers your bowels to clear out like a fire drill. Fast, no questions asked, just drop everything and run. This is also why some animals poop when you scare them. Not because they're being gross, because they're being efficient. Ducks, dogs, deer all in on this strategy, and so are you. Congrats. Of course, nowadays, most of our predators are things like public speaking deadlines and TSA checkpoints, but your digestive tract doesn't know that. It still treats stage fright like a lion attack. So if you've ever been stuck in a bathroom stall whispering, "Why now?" don't blame yourself. Blame 100,000 years of evolutionary trauma and a nervous system that still thinks drama means death. Number 10. Phantom water, brain glitch. Ever had that thing where you feel your phone vibrating but it's not? Now imagine standing in the shower and suddenly forgetting how water works. For a microsecond, your brain's like, "What is this sensation?" Congratulations, you've just experienced phantom perception breakdown when your ancient senses glitch under modern conditions. Your skin muscles nerves, they evolved to sense wind, rain, fur, dirt, danger, not massaging shower heads and eucalyptus body wash. So sometimes when water hits just the right way, your brain pauses, recalculates, like a GPS saying, rerouting. This isn't just about showers. Try walking downstairs in the dark and suddenly feeling like you forgot how to walk, or picking up a drink that's lighter than you expected and almost yeeting it into space. That's your proprioception, your body's internal GPS momentarily crashing like a Windows 98 computer. These glitches didn't matter in the wild. Your brain evolved for the outdoors where stimuli were consistent and repetitive. You felt bark bone blood rocks. Now it has to decode electric toothbrushes, escalators, and Wi-Fi waves. Basically, your ancient hardware is trying to run modern software, and sometimes it just gives up and says, with a side of confusion. Number 11. You sweat like you're hiding something. Let's talk about fear, sweat, the extremely cursed fluid your body produces specifically when you're panicking. It's different from workout sweat or, "Oh no, I wore black to the summer barbecue" sweat. Fear sweat smells worse, and your body knows it. Back in our hunter-gatherer drama days, fear sweat was your body's biochemical signal to the tribe that something was wrong. It comes from the apocrine glands, aka the fancy ones in your armpits and groin, and it's loaded with fatty compounds and stress hormones. Not only does it smell more pungent, but it actually triggers responses in other people. Like other humans can sense your fear sweat even if they don't consciously realize it. It's like a stinky distress beacon. And no cologne doesn't fully cover it. Your nervous system is pumping out a chemical cocktail that says, "Something is wrong, we're not okay, please notice my suffering." In the wild, this could alert your pack. Today, it just makes your job interview 5% more awkward and turns first dates into silent games of who smells like anxiety. So yeah, your body's idea of communication is to marinate you in panic juice. Nice. Number 12, running toward screams. Here's a fun contradiction. Humans are social animals, which means when we hear someone scream, we often run towards it. Think about it. You hear a shriek. Instead of hiding, your brain goes, "That's my cue." It's the alarm calling instinct, a leftover from tribal survival where one person's distress meant everyone's danger. This is why you get that weird mix of dread and curiosity when you hear sirens or see a crowd gathering. It's not just gossip, it's your built-in response to collective threat. You're scanning for danger, sure, but also for community, for cues, for what are we supposed to do now? And in the wild, that instinct saved lives. If someone screamed tiger and you ran towards it to help instead of away, congratulations, you're brave and doomed, but you might save the group. Welcome to evolutionary game theory. Today, this means we rubberneck at accidents, crowd around drama, and scroll TikTok videos of people yelling, "Watch till the end." That's your ancient survival instinct meeting your modern brain's FOMO. Basically, your hero complex is just tribal alertness with a dopamine twist. Number 13. You react faster to faces than facts. Your brain is a face stalker. No offense, but it is. You could walk past 1,000 random objects, but the second a vaguely face-shaped smudge appears on a piece of toast, bam, instant recognition. That's pareidolia, your brain's weird compulsion to see faces everywhere. Why? Because back in the wilderness, spotting a face, especially a human one, meant survival, friend or foe, ally or rival, dead-eyed stranger or hungry lion hiding in the grass. You needed to make that call fast. So now your brain processes faces faster than nearly any other object. Even babies are wired this way. You were born ready to judge people's eyebrows. And this system is so overactive it makes you hallucinate faces in clouds, electrical outlets, car headlights, and disturbingly potatoes. Don't look up Potato Jesus. You've been warned. This hypersensitivity once helped you read emotions, predict behavior, and avoid becoming bear snacks. Now it mostly means you emotionally bond with appliances that look vaguely judgmental. Basically, your brain would rather falsely believe a wall socket is judging you than miss a real threat. Evolution, the original overthinker. Number 14. You can't hear danger when you're screaming. When you're screaming or even breathing heavily, your ears do this really annoying thing. They shut out external sound. It's called the Lombard effect, and it's kind of like your body going, shh, I'm being dramatic. During intense stress or effort, your own vocalizations overpower external noise. Think soldiers and battle athletes mid-sprint, or your cousin yelling during karaoke. The louder you are, the less you can hear everything else. Back in prehistoric times, this made a weird sort of sense. Screaming was often a group activity, chasing prey, fighting predators, warning others. Your own voice helped you coordinate or intimidate, and hearing every detail of the chaos around you wasn't always helpful. But now, you might scream during an argument or while getting a tattoo and miss what the other person is saying entirely. Useful. Not exactly, but consistent with a nervous system that thinks, is the most productive response to anything threatening. So when someone yells, calm down, and you don't hear it, evolution says that's fair. Number 15, the don't trust new food instinct. Let's say someone offers you a weird green pudding, you sniff it, you stare at it, you consider the life decisions that brought you here. That's your neophobia fear of new foods kicking in like a suspicious old grandma. This instinct was a full-time survival gig back in the foraging days. Your ancestors didn't have ingredient lists, they had vibes, and if something looked off, smelled funny, or was a color not usually associated with life, nope, immediate rejection. Especially in children, their bodies are hyper-wired to avoid bitterness and unknown flavors because those signals used to mean maybe poisonous. So your toddler turning into a tiny food critic over broccoli, that's prehistoric self-preservation, not pickiness. And adults still carry this, that tiny hesitation before trying squid ink pasta or fermented shark. That's not snobbery, that's 200,000 years of food anxiety whispering, let's not die today. So yeah, your brain is the reason you still order chicken tenders at a new restaurant. You're not boring, you're a cautious mammal with a well-honed distrust of slimy textures. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.